Okay, everybody, let's start now. We are having here a plenary section to discuss the research, accounting comparability and the value relevance in Brazil, made by Fábio Minato and Professor José Alonso Borba. I'm Bruno Salotti. I'm professor of accounting in University of São Paulo, and I'm going to be the discussant of the research. Just to organize the session, Fábio is going to have about 15 to 20 minutes to present the paper, and then I'm going to present my critiques, a brief presentation about my view. And then we open for audience with about 20 to 25 minutes to finish the discussion. Okay, so Fábio, you can start when your time is finishing. I'm gonna warn you, okay? So the floor is yours.
Thank you, Professor Bruno. It's a pleasure to share the room with you and Professor Alonso, my supervisor. My name is Fábio Minato. I'm a PhD student in accounting at Universidade Federal de Santa Catarina. This is a work in progress that we are developing, so feel free to point critics and feel free to share your view about the paper. And it's a pleasure to present the paper in the 22 USP International Conference in Accounting. So let's start. So financial statement comparability has been recognized as an enhancing attribute of financial reporting, improving the usefulness of accounting information. It is defined as the extent to which firms have similar accounting systems and hence produce similar financial statements. Moreover, value relevance is a pertinent research avenue in accounting, which tests whether the accounting information derived from financial statements reflects the firm share price and is relevant for investors. Moreover, the importance of accounting information for investors depends on the extent to which this information is comparable across peer firms. Therefore, both value relevance and account comparability measures considers the sector that the firm operates. This study investigates whether accounting comparability among peers enhances earnings and book value relevance. We explore the modeling the effect of accounting comparability in the value relevance of earnings and book value. Moreover, we investigate the modeling effect of discretionary accruals for the value relevance benefits of comparability among firms, and we base most of our background and empirical models and hypotheses in the work of made by Shen in 2020. Regarding our research hypothesis, overall there is a consistent evidence about the positive effect of value relevance both in the information and monitoring role of accounting comparability. Moreover, accounting comparability reduces investors' information gathering and processing costs, allowing for a more accurate and efficient valuation judgment. Therefore, our first hypothesis are the value relevance of earnings enhances with accounting comparability, and the value relevance of book value of equity enhances with accounting comparability. Those measures are value relevance from also in 1995. And the benefit of having, regarding our second hypothesis, the benefit of having comparable financial statements could be reduced when a firm's information environment has low earnings quality, where investors cannot reliably assess the reported numbers. And Shen constitutes this as financial reported opacity. And our second hypothesis, based on the work, is accrual earnings management attenuates the value relevance benefits of accounting comparability. Therefore, accrual earnings management reduces the benefits made by accounting comparability among peer firms. Regarding our data collection, our analysis was conducted using a sample of 116 Brazilian published traded companies from B3s for the period extending from 2012 till 2020. We use both consolidated financial statements and unconsolidated financial statements because we see in the literature work done by using consolidated financial statements and unconsolidated financial statements, and we collect all this information through econometric database. And we use our software and its packages to run the regressions, manipulate the data, all the procedures regarding the comparability measures and value relevance and accrual earners management is done by the software with programming language. And we break down these companies according to the NOICS sector classification and excluding the financial services and insurance companies and removing sectors that do not have at least 4 companies. And compared to the literature at the Brazilian context, there are a lot of sectors that do not comply with this measure. And moreover, we reform firms with negative book value of equity. Regarding the accounting comparability measure, we based on the Franco 2011, and we do this measure regarding the mean and median value in their work. Accrual earners management measure, we use Johnny's work from 1991, and they show as a robustness check. And value relevance we use also 1995. Our empirical model is based on chain 2020, and we test our hypothesis, our first hypothesis based on the moderation effect of accounting comparability and value relevance. And to test the second hypothesis, we include the moderating rule of accounting comparability in the value relevance of earnings and book value dependence on firms' discretionary accruals levels. Regarding the descriptive results, we have less comparability among peer firms comparing to works regarding companies in the US context, and we see an increase in the comparability from 2017 to 2020, and consolidated data has more comparability than unconsolidated data in our analysis. And when we compare per sector, the retail sector has the highest comparability measure, and the business and enterprise administration has the lower. This is the descriptive statistics of the econometric models. And regarding the regression results, when we test our first hypothesis, the positive effect of accounting comparability and book value is confirmed, but when we test the accounting comparability with the abnormal earnings, we cannot see this effect as positive. And for both models, when considering the accounting comparability model interaction with the book value, we see this in both models. And this result is not consistent with what was found in chain in their work, where for them model only the interaction between accounting comparability and earnings was significant. And their work was in the US context. And regarding the second hypothesis, we see the negative effect of the discretionary accruals when compared to the positive effect between the interaction with accounting comparability and book value. There is a positive effect, but when you include the interaction with the accruals as a measure of financial reporting capacity or similar concept, we see the negative effect in both models, but regarding the second hypothesis, we could not see the same effect only for the unconsolidated data, and a negative one also. And the results suggest only a negative value for the interaction between accounting comparability, discretionary accruals, and book value. And this result was not consistent for both consolidated. Was consistent for both consolidated and unconsolidated data. And this finding implies that the positive moderated role of accounting comparability in the value relevance of book value is attenuated when accrual earnings management is higher as a measure of financial reporting opacity. This reduces the benefit of having accounting comparability. And we did some robustness checks, and we estimate as a robustness analysis the main model with discretionary accruals using the show model. And we find a consistent result for the consolidated data and non-consolidated data. And this is in the paper, the table. And we also estimate all the analysis with the accounting comparability median value and from the Franco. And the results corroborated the main analysis, except for the unconsolidated data model that tests the first hypothesis, where the interaction between accounting comparability and value was not significant. And just a second. And regarding the conclusions of this preliminary work, our descriptive results suggest that Brazilian public companies show a lower level of accounting comparability than the literature evidence and in other contexts. And this could be explained by the result numbers of public companies in each industry in Brazil, because when comparing with other studies, the number of companies in the same sector are higher. In Brazil, there are few companies in each sector. And Shane bring evidence of the moderate role of accounting comparability in the value relevance of earnings and book value in the US market. And we seek to contribute to the accounting literature presenting evidence of this role in an emerging market and how the discretionary accruals impacts this relationship. And our results regarding the empirical models suggests that accounting comparability has a negative effect on the book value of equity and no effect on earnings. And moreover, we provide evidence that accrual earnings management has a negative effect of the relationship between book value and accounting comparability, but no effect on earnings. And future research could replicate this model in other emerging markets and European companies. And also our work could be enhanced and improved by enhancing our comprehension about the model and the comprehension about the peculiarities about the Brazilian context that is different from the US companies that were tested in chain model. This is our references, and we thank the opportunity to present our paper in the USP Congress and conference. And this study was financed in part by the coordination, the application of CAPS that I have funded. And thank you a lot. And
consequentes que queriam abrigar e tal.
Stop sharing.
Okay, Fabio. Thank you very much for your presentation. Now I'm gonna share my slides. Let me see if I can do it. Wait a minute, okay. Okay, are you seeing my slides?
Yes.
Does it change?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Because sometimes the picture is frozen and you're changing the slides, but the audience is not seeing. That's why I like to check. Okay, so I'm gonna start to present now my issues. Just start chronometer. Okay, Fabio and Alonso, first of all, thank you for presenting the paper for our conference, and thank you for the opportunity of reading. I hope my thoughts can help you in developing the paper. First of all, I'm gonna present a summary of your paper to present how I understood the paper and the results, okay? So first of all, the paper seeks to evaluate if the relation of market value with earnings and book value is positively moderated by accounting comparability. I first read this paper as trying to replicate Chen et al. I don't know if you were trying to really replicate. I'm gonna discuss a little bit about it further. But in my reading, it seemed to me that it was a replication. Okay, and there's no problem in replicating, but I think you should better justify and clarify if this is a replication or not. Okay, for example, in Shen they used USA data from 1996 to 2015, and your data is from a different period. This is the paper we are talking about. To better understand your paper, I had to read this original paper. So that was a additional work for me because I had to read two papers, but okay, it's part of work. And I just brought here the reference, the complete reference of Chen et al. Paper. Okay, so the summary of your first model, as I read, you have an independent variables here, abnormal earnings, book value, and also a comparability index to operationalize these constructs you used for abnormal earnings, the difference between net income and book value plus the interest tax divided by total assets. For book value, you use directly book value of equity divided by total assets. And for the comparability index, you use mainly the Franco et al. 2011 model, as you shown, and Yip Young 2012. And you related these independent variables to explain market value as a dependent variable. And to operationalize market value, you use market value of the company 3 months after the end of fiscal year divided by total assets. And the idea behind this model is that the value relevance of earnings and book value is enhanced by accounting comparability. Then in a second model, you added earnings management using the discretionary accruals model from the Show et al. 1995. And again, you try to explain the market value as a dependent variable. And the idea here, as you also explained, is that earnings management attenuates the value relevant benefits of accounting comparability. And from your abstract, I extract the summary of your results. You said that descriptive results indicated that Brazilian public companies showed a lower level of accounting comparability than the literature's evidence. I just pointed here that this evidence is from only one country. Which is Sheng et al. Paper. Accounting comparability had a negative effect on the book value of equity and no effect of earnings, on earnings. And finally, discretionary accruals have a negative impact on the relationship between book value and accounting comparability, but no effect on earnings. Okay, so first of all, this is my summary of your paper. I think it's important for you to see how a reader see your paper. And just to start as a positive point, I think it's a relevant topic to research because comparability is an enhancing qualitative characteristics of accounting information. So I think you're on the right way to research this. It's generally well written and structured, considering that we normally have more facility with Portuguese. The paper is very well written because it's written in English. And the literature review is also well constructed. I think you did a great job in this issue. Okay. Of course, I'm here to criticize. So I'm gonna offer you and Alonso my issues to improve. Of course, in my view, feel free to accept this or not, but it's only some points to reflect and think. Okay, so first of all, I think you can work on the justification of the paper. Don't worry about the slides, okay, Fabio, because after the session I can send to you. You don't need to copy everything, okay? But in the paper you justify the research, saying that the relationship between earnings management and comparability and their value relevance was not tested in a context of an emerging market. As I know, it's true also. But we have to have care with that. Something not done is not a good justification to do it. It's not only because it's not tested that you should test, okay? As a suggestion, I think you should increase justification mainly on why to study Brazil. Thinking that you may submit this paper to an abroad journal, they will ask this as a first question: why Brazil? Of course, they don't ask why USA, because they think USA is the main market and the starting point for everything. Not only in accounting, but this is another point. But if we as Brazilian researchers, and I think I'm sure Alonso know this point very well, if we submit a paper only with Brazilian data, if you don't really carefully justify why Brazil, they just reject the paper and they will not analyze anything else. Okay, so you should carefully justify why you are studying Brazil. And why should we believe that in Brazil the results could differ? So you should explore that, not just replication in Brazil because I'm a Brazilian student and I'm here in Brazil, but why in Brazil the results could differ, or why in Brazil at least we should investigate it. Okay, I think this is a main point. Also about the replication thing, I'm not really clear if your paper is a formal replication of chain, just changing the environment, or you are inspired by chain, but you are doing a lot of different things. Okay, if your paper is a replication, which I think it's not a problem per se, but you should justify why is a replication. You should try to keep methodological choices from chain as many as possible in order to compare the results. Your paper is about comparability. So in order to compare the results, you should maintain as many as possible the methodological choices from chain. Okay, this point could make us think about, for example, the period you use it. So chain used more previous period of data. When chain did the paper, there was not the pandemic situation, and you use also data from 2020 that is affected by pandemic environment. So there are a lot of questions related to that. Okay. Also, just to finish it, also the gap, the accounting gap that is used in chain. They're using mainly US GAAP, and here in Brazil it's IFRS. So there are a lot of differences in the markets and in the accounting. Also, I'm not comfort with your statement that accounting comparability has had a negative effect on the book value of equity, because of course this number is negative, but this is not. I'm really not an expert on econometric models, okay? I studied this a lot, but it's always a challenge. I don't know if you are affirming that is negative because the accounting comparability itself is negative, and then multiplied by book value, it would be negative, but the index per se is positive, the second one. So I really have doubt in this interpretation, okay? Also, I feel that there's lack of interpretation and explanation for the results. For example, accounting comparability is negative associated with market value. This would suggest that investors value accounting in comparability. It sounds strange. And it differs from Cheng et al. So Sheng et al. So why? You should try to explain the difference. The interaction between accounting comparability and book value is positive, as I first said. I don't know if it's really like that, but you should investigate, indicating that value relevance of book value is enhanced by accounting comparability. It was not also observed by Sheng. What's the explanation for that? Why it's happening? The interaction between accounting comparability and earnings is positive, but not significant, indicating that value relevance of earnings is not enhanced by accounting comparability. This also was not observed by Sheng et al. So what's the explanation for that? I don't know. I really don't know, but maybe you also don't know. That's why you didn't type in the paper, but you should try to think of something that could explain this, because it's strange. So maybe, I don't know, the results inconsistent is derived from the methodology choice you did. It could be. So in order to eliminate this hypothesis, you should try another alternatives to test data, okay? After that, you should try other alternatives and the results maintain. A possible explanation for this difference is the Brazilian environment. For example, we have an accumulated inflation in a very higher level than USA. And we are talking about book value. And book value is directly affected by the non-monetary correction that we are not doing from 1995. So I don't know, but this also could explain. And also, this could help you to justify why we should study Brazilian firms, which is related to that first point that I said in the beginning, okay? Sometimes in the research, I can tell to you because I already did several ones. We start the work and the data analysis with one thinking, but when we made all the tests, we perceived that maybe the introduction of and the argumentation to justify our hypothesis could be changed in order to help the reader understand our results. Okay, so maybe you could change a little bit the introduction and the argumentation in order to help you to justify your results. Okay, Fabio. And also, I felt lack of exploring the practical implications of your evidence. Of course, you said that is a work in progress, but in the end, when you're going to submit to a journal, you should try to elaborate practical implications of your results, okay? Also, I felt a lack of explanation for several issues. For example, why did you start the data analysis from 2012? I didn't read any justification of that, okay? Why did you use consolidated and unconsolidated data? For me, at least, unconsolidated could be extracted because you're using market value, and the market value of the firm is affected by all the companies that are in control of the company. So unconsolidated for me doesn't make sense to be in this paper, okay? But it's your choice, of course, but at least if you're going to maintain the consolidated and unconsolidated, you should better justify that, okay? Why did you replace firm market value by total assets to estimate comparability index? Because in original model from the Franco, they use market value. And then in Yip Young, they changed it for using total assets in some estimation. Okay, you are doing that because Yip Young did. But why you believe that Yip Young is correct in doing this change? Because the original model didn't do that, okay? Why did you use as a dependent variable market value divided by total assets? I didn't understand, because in Chain, I was reading this paper, they use it directly stock price. And you use a market value, which would be stock price multiplied by the quantity of shares and divided by total assets. So does it make sense? I don't know. At least you should justify, because it's different from Chain. Okay. I'm in the end. Okay, I'm finalizing. Just to finish this discussion, I think maybe the biggest problem here is that the concept of comparability is very hard to operationalize. So as trying alternatives, maybe you should try to justify the choices based more on economic arguments and theory, not only because that author did or that author did. No. Of course it's easier to do that. I'm doing this because that author did, but why you're doing that? Okay. For example, in Formula 1, that you already mentioned in slide 9 today, you have earnings and returns. And for earnings, you are estimating by earnings before interest and tax divided by total assets, which would be a kind of return on assets index. And return, you use stock price return. So you're not considering the leverage characteristics of the company. It means that different capital structures are not influencing this measurement. But of course, we know that capital structure influences the earnings and shareholders' return. Of course, this is a critique not for you, it's for the Franco model. But maybe, I don't know, you could address this point and trying to elaborate comparability in another way, okay? So I think we just finished my comments. I hope these issues could help you in developing your paper. Thank you again for the opportunities. Congratulations, and good luck with your research, you and Alonso. Okay. So I'm gonna stop sharing here my screen. Maybe I can give you some minutes to comment on my points, Fabio, and then we open for audience. Okay. As Fabio is gonna comment on my points, everybody from audience, you can elaborate your questions in chat or raise your hand to open your microphone and say the point. Okay, so Fabio, you can comment on the issues.
First of all, thank you a lot, Professor Bruno, to really read the paper and provide such excellent feedback and excellent issues pointed that made me think. And this is I'm not used to work with companies and market value. My research my research stream actually is more directly with sportive entities, but I did the discipline in our program, and I was trying to get used to these measures, and I thought the Shane paper would be a good opportunity, not to replicate, but like use as a supportive to enter in this research. But your view is correct that I need to improve the paper and include other things that could enhance and provide a better contribution to the literature, because just to replicate the model would be a contribution, but we would be not like a better contribution than test in the Brazilian contest and justify why to test in Brazilian contest, and also why several things that you pointed out I need to like explore in the paper, why I made this choice, or why I started in 2020, 2012 and stopped in 2020, and I did tests with and without 2020, but I need to explain and explore this in the paper. Like you are very correct that several issues in the paper are not well developed, and I need to study more and about practical implications, and also why these results differ from the Shane paper, and also include other things and explore this model with really contribute to the literature, like add some control different controls control variables,
control variables,
this context of Brazil. Like I just use this paper like a kickoff, like a starting point, but I need to improve a lot of this paper in economic hypothesis too, just not to use, like you said, about justified with an author, but economic theory or economic like support, and also I will use your presentation and your thoughts and your issues that you raised to better write the paper, and also to add some things that I need, and your thoughts are and issues that you raised will be like excellent to me to add in the paper, and also to explore the paper, and I extremely thankful to you. And
no problem, no, this is my work. Okay, Yeah, I also agree with you, and I'm happy that you have this initiative to develop, to continue and develop. Are you doing your thesis or dissertation about this topic or no?
More or less, like I study football clubs, but I will studying my dissertation about accounting quality, earnings quality in football clubs, like. And
Okay.
it's an opportunity like I will not explore like accounting comparability in football clubs because they don't not have share price, but this is like an opportunity to work in companies, like study companies in
Of
the
course.
context and the accounting quality literature, and also to explore this in the football context. That this is the context that I more use it, and like but this is a big opportunity to me that I could explore the earnings quality literature and get used it and explore more and know more about it. And I am excited because your feedback is great, and I'm excited to explore more in this context. And
of course. Nice. Okay, perfect. So the people from audience, did you have any comments or doubts or critics to offer to Fabio? Let's wait. Until we wait, maybe we could hear something from Professor Alonso. I don't know if he can use the microphone to react to the comments, but if we could hear something from him, it would be very great.
I sent a message to him, and he had a problem at home. Like I don't know if he's here now, but
okay. No, I'm saying that because I'm reading here Alonso as a person, so maybe
it's him, but I don't know if he's
it's him, but virtually I don't know. No problem. Of course, I'm gonna feel free to contact me. Okay, Fabio, I'm open to discuss these points and other points from the paper. Here we have a limited time to discuss, but there are a lot of minor points that I noted. I'm sorry, I'm not going to send you a file because I'm kind of old school and I printed. Okay. And typed the points here, but if you wanna schedule another meeting to discuss more detailed, I'm free. Okay, I can help. Zaina, Professor Zaina, hello. Thank you for your participation. Hi, how are you? A lot of time. She's saying congratulations for the best discussion. Thank you. Okay, another one, another reaction, another doubt. No. Okay, so we are almost in the end of section. If there's no other questions and comments to you, Fabio, we can finish the session. Okay, and as I just said, feel free to contact me. Maybe you could type in chat your email, please, because then I am gonna take notes and send to you the presentation, and then you can contact me if you wanna schedule other meeting also with Alonso, okay?
I just type it, and I have to say, like, and Alonso is not here, but in my name, in his name, we are very thankful for your feedback and your excellent presentation and like hard work to really explore the limitations of our paper and the future avenues that we are going to have, and it's excellent, and I'm very grateful. Thank you so much.
Oh, no problem. Oh, that's part of the mission. Okay, so if we don't have any other questions and reactions, we are ready to finish the session. Everybody, thank you again for your audience, for here, Fabio and myself. We invite everybody to the reception in the next, as a next event of the Congress. Myself, I'm not going to attend, unfortunately, because I have a big list to do, and unfortunately I cannot attend the party, but I think everybody should go there because it's very, very good to meet people in real world, not only in a virtual world. Okay, so thank you again, Fabio. Thank you, the staff and people from the room at FAIR. We are going to finish this section. Okay, bye-bye. Thank you, and
Thank you.
see you in the next section. Bye.